Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of ED Outdoors. As y'all can see, rain's coming in, storms coming up. But hey, we are only 2 months away from opening day of bow season. So today, I'm gonna show you guys how I make my homemade deer attracted blocks. Coming right up. Alright you guys, welcome back to another ED Outdoors. Today we're going to be making these 45 block feed. Let's see. First of all, alright, in Louisiana it is legal to bait and to feed deer. So go ahead and clarify that. I'm not doing anything illegal. Trust me when I tell you it is $12.24. That's the total that we spent. $12.24 on everything we have here. Alright. The most expensive thing that I bought was molasses, and the molasses came in at a whopping $3.24. Alright, so what we're gonna do is pretty much sweet and salty. Alright, we have our whole grain, and this is old-fashioned 100% whole grain oats. Alright, we got the 2-pound container. Yellow cornmeal is just regular old cornmeal mix. That gives kind of a, that's gonna cover the corn. I don't have any whole corn just yet. Season is still 2 months away, so corn's not really out just right now. All right, I have some coarse kosher salt, sea salt, kosher salt, whatever. And this is like the main thing is molasses. This is Grandma's gold standard original molasses. Also picked up these little tin containers. Basically they're for, like, I don't know, bread or whatever, but they're aluminum. Oops, they're aluminum, and it's 5 of them, and hopefully we can fill all 5 of these and use these, and these will be our actual blocks. We'll make them out of these molds right here. Alright, now if you want to measure out, you can. It's not necessary, but the most important thing y'all get is the proportion. You want the proportions to be right, because everything's going to be compacted down later on. So as far as measurements, you don't have to be too uptight about it. I'm going to use these lids, and these lids will be my measuring device. Alright, so I'm going to do 2 lids full of regular old dry oats. I'm going to do 1 lid full of the yellow cornmeal, 1 lid full of cornmeal. Oh, I didn't mention the light brown sugar. That's a big part of it too, for the ingredients. So for the light brown sugar, I'm gonna use let's see, 1 container lid full. You want to be generous with that brown sugar, because that brown sugar, molasses, that combination, deer love sweet, they love salty. Alright, especially when you consider the warmer months, deer need the extra salt as far as replenishing electrolytes. So I'm just going to go ahead and mix my dry ingredients, stir those up. Alright, take my salt, pop that open. It's going to be a sweet and salty blend. So I got coarse salt. I'm gonna do 1 lid full of salt. Dump that coarse salt in right there. Now I'm not sure how much this is going to yield, but it's going to be our pilot, and we'll see how much we get out of this. Now, if y'all have any other type of grains, y'all feel free to throw them in. I have some unsalted sunflower seeds, or some sunflower kernels. Throw those in there. If y'all have peanuts or anything like that you want to throw in there, feel free to go ahead and throw it in there. You guys, another thing I didn't mention, oil. Make sure you have some type of cooking oil. Canola oil, sunflower seed oil, whatever. It doesn't matter. I happen to have canola oil, so that's what I'm using. Anyway. It's great value, sunflower seed kernels. Cap full of those, toss those in there. If y'all have pistachios, cashews, whatever, throw it in. I'm going to throw my dry ingredients together, mix that. Don't have to be too crazy about it, just get it mixed up together. Now, the oil, you want to put, I say maybe an ounce. So it's kind of eyeball an ounce of that cooking oil. Mix that in. Molasses. This is a 12-ounce container of molasses. Crack that open. Smells delicious. Y'all smell it? Smell it. It smells delicious, huh? Alright, molasses. I'm going to put a quarter of this container, which that would give it 3 ounces. So, just going to kind of eyeball it. Pour that in. Alright, that's around about a quarter. Next, you just go ahead and give it a spin, mix it up. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to end up with sort of a pasty batter. It's not going to be liquid. It's not going to be doughy like cake. It's going to be sort of a mixture in between. Alright, that oil is most of your liquid along with the molasses. Now, if it's a little dry, feel free to add more oil. If it's too runny, then you don't need to add more dry ingredient. So I would suggest cornmeal. If it's too runny, add a little more cornmeal. Alright. This isn't a bad consistency, but I'm gonna throw a little more oil in there. So maybe an ounce and a half of oil. And basically, what you're doing is you're making these feed blocks and get it to the consistency of sort of mashed potatoes, sort of like Play-Doh. What that's going to do is it's going to give us enough consistency to mold it into these little trays, compact it down, but it's going to leave it dry enough to where it doesn't fall apart. Alright. Mix, 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 mix. You can smell the molasses. The molasses is very, 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 very defined. Now, the reason why I mixed it in a glass bowl is because the next thing you're going to do is take this and you're going to throw it into the oven on 350 for about 15 minutes, alright? Toss it in the oven. That's going to dry everything out. It's going to kind of give that molasses and that brown sugar sort of a caramel type of finish. And that's going to help it stick together whenever we start pressing it into our molds, alright? So we're going to take this, dump it in our molds, compact it down real tight, and let it dry up. So next thing I do, take this, toss it in the oven 15 minutes. Once it's in the oven 15 minutes, I'm going to take it out, give it another stir, and that stir is going to kind of, everything's on the bottom, bring it to the top, everything's on the top, bring it to the bottom so it doesn't get too dry, and have a sort of a consistent all the way through dryness to help it compact together. Alright you guys, we are back. As you can see, all that brown sugar melted. I had it in the oven, I did 15 minutes, and then I let it, or I stirred it, mixed it up, did another 15 minutes. It looks like some type of like granola candy or something. Still pretty warm. So what I'm gonna do is take a few more of the dry flakes. I apologize, there's a storm coming in, so I had to use my light because the sun just disappeared on us. But a little bit more of my dry flakes because I want it to be really, really dry. I don't want it to be too moist whenever we press it into our pan. And what's going to happen is all that brown sugar, the molasses, and all it's going to act as like a glue. So basically, we're making deer granola bars. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to start removing it from the bowl, layer it into our little dishes here, and as we put it in, we want to press. We'll make sure we press that nice and firm because these are going to be 45 blocks, so we're going to make sure that there's as little space as possible in between them so that these things are nice and tight, so that the deer don't just walk up and eat them. It actually lasts last a while. So press, 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 press. And as they dry, they're gonna turn sticky. Basically, they're like Rice Krispie treats, you know? That's the best way to describe it. It's like Rice Krispies. And I'm gonna pack them in nice and tight so that they're nice and firm. So when they cool and the sugar solidifies, it'll be nice and tight. So pack it in, press it in. It looks like we may be able to make maybe two of these from the mixture that we just made. So those proportions I just gave y'all are good proportions to make two of these. Alright you guys, I want to bring y'all back. It's been a few hours. These have had time to sit. As you can see, they're pretty firm, just the way we wanted them. Now the first one I took out was a little soft. Second one was a lot firmer, and I realized because I had more of these dry Quaker oats. So what I did was I took these and I pressed more Quaker oats onto them, so when it finished drying, it'd be a lot more solid. This Quaker oats do a good job of drying it up. So if you guys make these, after you pull them out of the oven, throw in some fresh dry Quaker oats into the mixture before you pour them into the containers. Alright, now I'm gonna leave these out overnight, just let them kind of dry out some more, let that syrup finish being sticky, and it should be good to go. I'm gonna make a few more in the morning. I'm gonna do different containers though. I'm gonna do different sizes, different containers. So that's it for now, you guys. Thank y'all for tuning in. ED Outdoors. EDO out.